Biotechnica, this is Caroline Grain. Today in this video, I'll be talking about don't do these mistakes in NEET examination. So when we tend to talk in case of NEET examinations, we have a lot of mistakes that we'll be keep on doing it in NEET examination. Suppose if you're a person who is studying for NEET examinations for 1 year or 2 years or for 6 months, you would agree to this point. So you would be doing these mistakes. So I'm going to tell you at least in 2023, don't do these mistakes. So first mistake I'm going to talk about is most of them prefer to write or to attempt lot of questions rather than finding out what is the correct answer. So if we are talking in case of biology, if 90 questions are there, all of them try to solve 80 questions. But the most important thing is how many questions you're gonna answer it correct matters a lot rather than answering all the questions. So not the quantity but the quality is very, very important, whether you answer the question correctly or not, because we know that there is definitely going to be a negative mark. So if you're doing this mistake, then I would suggest never do this mistake in NEET 2023 examination at least. So check over the correct ones and attempt questions that are appropriate. The second important mistake is accuracy is equally important as time management. Yes, we know that the time is given only 3 hours. So if I have to split 3 hours, 1 hour for physics, 1 hour for chemistry and 1 hour for biology. So within that 1 hour, you have to solve physics question, within that 1 hour chemistry question, and for biology, both botany and zoology separately you have to deal with that. So instead of running behind the time, so you should not miss out the correct answers just because there is only going to be 45 minutes extra for you. So don't make a hurry and you start answering the questions a bit faster. It's not that important. The main important thing is you have to take into consideration is this comes out of practice. Like you have to keep your alarm set for almost 3 hours, write a mock test or attend online mock test so that you will be solving the questions faster and accurately. So if you are someone who is running behind time and completing the answer, then that mistake you should never do in NEET 2023. Next one, ignoring 11th biology NCERT hidden lines. I'm going to tell you. So most of the time when we talk in case of biology, I'll be talking in case of physics and chemistry also. So there are lines which are actually hidden. Like suppose let's talk in case of nitrogen metabolism or biological nitrogen fixation. You will see the sequence of the nodule formation in the paragraph and you will see the diagrammatic representations will be kind of different. So there might be a questions where they'll be asking you what's the sequence of biological nitrogen fixation accordingly. So you need to read everything very detailedly. When we talk in case of the size of the mycoplasma, in the written text will be different, but when you see the image of the PPLO, it will be very different. So you have to understand everything whichever is given in the book, whether it's an image or everything, and there are some hidden lines also will be there which can become a question. One example I'm going to tell you. Order of beetles is which of these things is given. So this question is actually, we can say this paragraph is actually, the solution is actually from biotechnology chapter, Bacillus thuringiensis, but the question is indirectly related to animal kingdom. Yes, it is related to animal kingdom very specifically, and that too it belongs to beetles very specifically, and that too it belongs to the phylum Arthropoda. So in Arthropoda, we'll be studying about these orders like Lepidoptera, Coloptera, Diptera and Dermaptera. So this is a question. So if you know animal kingdom correlated with a biotechnology chapter, so you can find in biotechnology they have given here coleopterans are going to be beetles. So we would be assuming that animal kingdom it will be coming, but you can find the same in biotechnology. So there are some hidden lines like this. So that's the main thing that you have to take is when you learn biology, go for every word, every image, every figures, every lines that are written below the figures and the diagrammatic representation, the image of a flower which is given in the first page and the summary, everything has to be included. Do not ever ignore all these hidden lines which is given in the book. So this mistake most of them does because they think like, okay, if we start off with the first line and then after concluding it's enough. But even summary is very important. And I'm going to talk about the other things also. Taking AR, which is assertion, reason type questions very lightly. I'm going to tell you this because if you're not going to practice, assertion and reasoning type of questions, it will be very difficult for you to acquire marks. So don't take this very lightly. So if anybody wanted to practice assertion reason questions, then I would suggest you to go in for MTG fingertips and previous year AIMS question papers, which are very good for assertion and reason based questions. And this, but one important thing is look for the genuine answer key, because sometimes the answer key is a bit different. So look for the perfect answer key and deal with it. So do not ever take assertion and reasons are going to be very easy, because I found lot of students will be solving direct questions, but when it comes to assertion and assertions, they'll just stick anything else and they used to come. But this is most important thing. This mistake you should never ever do. The next important one I'm going to tell is rushing to complete the syllabus fast but forgetting the previously learned topic, whether it comes to physics or whether it comes to chemistry, whether it comes to biology. So when you're learning organic, inorganic or physical or whatever it is, so if you're learning a particular unit, finish off the unit. You don't have to rush to complete the unit, because the target is not rushing and completing the unit. Who completes the syllabus fast is not going to be the race. The thing is how many chapters you're going to be master in it and how many questions you will be able to answer it. So rushing is not much important, so that you should not forget the previous studied chapters, whether it's physics, chemistry or biology. This I found most of the student does, so never do this mistake at any cost. The next one, for chemistry, ignoring R.C. Grover's NCERT grip chemistry. So this book is very important. If you wanted to study chemistry, then you should not miss R.C. Grover NCERT grip chemistry. So this book will have line by line NCERT based questions for real, definitely. So if you see, MTG usually has that kind of question. So if you see whatever it is given in the NCERT book, you'll find the same kind of questions formed from the NCERT line, so that it will be very easy for you to revise. So it has line by line NCERT question, and you can use this book as a main reference book also. I would suggest taking it as a main reference book also. So this, ignoring this book is not advisable, so never ever do this mistake also. Okay, now let's move on to the seventh mistake that most of them does is not making record of mistakes made in test. What does it mean? Yes, suppose if you're practicing some physics question, you're practicing some chemistry question, you're practicing a biology questions, so you might be doing a mistake, like when we do physical chemistry questions or organic chemistry questions, not balancing equations, or when it comes to physics or biology, you tend to make mistakes that moment. So what you people usually does is, okay, I made a mistake in this step, so they'll write it in a note. Okay, this is where I usually make a mistake. But is it enough for you to finish off that way? No, I'm not going to tell you that. So don't record all mistakes committed in the test. Analyze which are worthy to be kept in mind, which can be left as such. So you should not take all the mistakes as, okay, we have to remember this mistake, I'd done it over there. So what are the mistakes that will definitely happen in examination? You have to take that into consideration. The rest of the things you can leave it as such. So taking and understanding what mistake you usually does in physics, chemistry and biology is important. Ignoring NCERT at your fingertips book published by MTG. Yes, most of them, they study NCERT. When it comes to physics and chemistry, they learn it from the faculty, but they used to ignore this NCERT at your fingertips book published by MTG. So this is not advisable, because whether it comes to physics or chemistry or for biology, very specifically, I'm going to tell the priority for NCERT exemplar book, very specific. You can go in for first biology, chemistry and physics, and this exemplar book is published by NCERT itself. So it's advisable to go for this book. I'm going to tell you what are the books you can follow. So the official source you can get is exemplar book published by NCERT, but I'm going to suggest you NCERT at your fingertips published by MTG is enough. I'm going to tell you how this book works, because this book has a lot of questions from the NCERT. Along with that, they will contain all the questions from NCERT exemplar published by NCERT also. So which means both the things are present in one book, so it is very good enough to take up this book. So you can see, if you're going to go in for MTG, you can see NCERT exemplar. So this section is from NCERT exemplar book, which means MTG has NCERT exemplar problems also, questions from NCERT also. So very nice book, so you can definitely go for MTG. And you can also find, this is for physics, you can literally see this is also NCERT exemplar problems. So definitely, whether it is physics, chemistry or biology, you can definitely take up MTG NCERT at your fingertips aspirant book. Do not ever miss this book at all, whether it is whatever it is. NCERT exercises and examples, biology, physics or chemistry shouldn't be skipped, which means when it comes to biology very specifically, let me give an example. Students used to study the introduction and they'll come to the last portion and they'll complete it, but many used to miss the summary part. After the summary part, you can see some exercises given in biology books. So many students doesn't used to solve those exercises, but you know one thing, you can expect questions from the exercise part also. So solve that exercise part once again, and also remember all the examples, whether it's physics, chemistry or biology or some formulas, whichever is given in your NCERT book, do not ever skip it. So I'm going to give you one example, page 15 and page 45. These are example questions which is given. Given below is the scientific name of mango, which is Mangifera indica. Everybody knows. So this question can come in the form of a match the following question. And you can see, can you identify the correct sequence of taxonomical category? Which of the following is true, false and true is given. Species, order, phylum, like this they have given kingdom, phylum, order, species. And then they have given phylum, order, genus, species. So which one is correct? So this question you can also expect. And this is match the following question. You can expect the same type of questions in your NCERT also. So exercises are very important. Summaries are very important. Examples are very important. Images in biology is very important. And formulas in physics and chemistry is very, very important. And the next important thing is avoiding revision and no practice questions. So some people, when they go in for physics, they will be learning NCERT. So it is not advisable to learn NCERT for physics. You have to refer Hershey Verma book or Aurora book. You have to refer. So avoiding revision and no practice question. If you're gonna avoid revision, okay, I've studied all the units, I've studied all the botany units, I've studied zoology, physics, chemistry, and you think like, okay, I've already studied, I don't have to revise it, I'll start solving questions. That's the biggest mistake. So when you study one unit or a specific chapter, when you're going to study the second chapter, revise the first chapter also, or take chapters that are interconnected with each other. Suppose you can take up a chapter like morphology in flowering plants and anatomy together, plant kingdom and sexual reproduction of flowering plants together, human reproduction, reproductive health together, so that you finish the revisions a bit faster and you study the interconnected ones, so your concepts becomes very, very clear for you. So do not ever avoid revision and do not ever avoid practicing a lot of questions, very specifically when it comes to physics and chemistry. So these are the mistakes that most probably all the NEET aspirant does. So at least by NEET 2023, we believe that we avoid these mistakes. So don't do these mistakes in the NEET examination. This is the topic for today. I believe that this video is helpful for all of you. If you really like this video, please like, share and subscribe to our channel Biotechnica. Thank you all of you.